Hey guys, this is Steven and Michelle from the Social Plunge. We are live.
Yes, live from the podcast studio. Super excited to share some information with you guys about the Traffic and Conversion Summit that we went to last week.
Yes.
It was a phenomenal time, and we actually recorded live there.
We did record live in the BuzzSprout podcast studio. We really appreciate you guys letting us in there. And let's just kick this episode underway.
Here it goes.
Okay.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, Digital Marketer TNC. We are coming to you live from the TNC Conference BuzzSprout podcast studio.
What?
Yep, that is right. Michelle is with me. This is the first time actually we're doing this. We're outside of the podcast studio, out of the Plumber SEO office.
Yeah, we are in San Diego, California.
Yeah,
y'all.
and
not Miami.
Yep, and I'm actually looking out the window, and the speakers are blaring, and my boss Dean is sitting there on his phone, probably posting a
Giggling to himself.
picture.
Over there.
Yep, he's giggling to himself.
I wonder if he can hear what we're saying. No, he can't.
No, he definitely
can?
hear us. Yeah, the speakers are
Wow.
outside.
Really?
I'm actually making a Snapchat as we
Okay.
do this right now. You know, we should probably have a Periscope. We should probably have live feed.
Next time.
Next time, exactly. Always next time. There's always next time. So, learning a lot. This is actually Michelle and I's first real digital marketer TNC Summit, Traffic and Conversion Summit conference. And we're soaking it all in.
Yeah, definitely. We're learning a lot for you guys. We're going to be able to come up with some stellar information for this episode and definitely for upcoming episodes about how you can actually convert people on social media, how you can actually make money on your social. And I think that for our industry, we've talked about it before, it's a little difficult for people in plumbing and HVAC and local business services to really understand what that means, what social media is doing for communication in our era.
It's so true. It's so true. We're dealing with plumbers. That's the clientele. So
Who the hell really wants to follow a plumber on Facebook?
Yeah,
think about it.
It's a specific niche.
But no, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people actually do
it's
follow
huge.
plumbers on Facebook, and it's especially that
Yep.
little old lady, 50-year-old
Oh,
woman
yeah.
who
Yep.
wants to keep in touch with her community. And,
Exactly.
oh, look, my plumber's on Facebook.
And like Gary Vee was saying,
What they're posting. Yeah.
like Gary Vee was saying, grandmas are fishing through the news feed slower than anybody.
And
So-
then, of course, there's the next generation, and you want to be prepared for that. And that's a lot of what was discussed here in terms of social media. The fact that you want to be on social because social is the future. And we've already talked about Facebook.
So much. Advertising, optimizing.
Their business services.
Business
and
services,
the fact
local
that there's
services.
going to be the local search feature on Facebook. So, I mean, it's essentially going to be another Angie's List, another Yelp kind of a thing.
It's going to be a competitor for sure.
And, I mean, it's already rolled out.
It's already rolled out.
So
I think that it's going to play a huge role when it comes to when you're on Facebook and you're looking up that local business and you're saying, okay, 4-star, 5-star. I feel like those reviews are going to be higher than the reviews on Yelp, Angie's, these other outside platforms.
They already are.
At
least for me, I look at reviews on social media because I feel like they're just more legit. Like when you
Yes,
go to
it's real people.
Angie's List, it's always going to be like raving, angry people.
Oh, yeah.
When you go on Yelp, I mean, Yelp is really mostly for food. I feel like
It
I
is.
wouldn't look for my
Restaurants.
plumber on Yelp. And everybody knows Google sucks because when you're trying to find something like right down the street in your neighborhood, sometimes it doesn't even come up in the search. So
It's very, it's everything gets
complicated
lost
and
in
it's
translation.
weird, but social media is straightforward. So,
It is.
like everybody has a Facebook page and
everybody.
It's getting better all the time too. I mean, it's by no means perfect. Facebook kind of sucks with search right now too.
Oh
but
my God,
I mean,
it's unbelievable. But it's
it's
getting
getting
better.
somewhere.
It's getting
Yeah,
better. It's
exactly.
getting better. Like there's different when you type in something in search on Facebook, there's different categories. There's people, businesses, brands, huge brands. I mean, it's kind of categorizing it.
It's not just about
better.
the hours and the phone number.
Oh yeah, not at all.
There's like, I think when you have somebody come into your house and you're paying for them to like come to your house to do something weird that you don't understand, you're afraid about getting scammed.
Oh my! I think that's the biggest. That's the biggest.
You know, you're afraid that it's going to be some kind of creepy crook. There's stories in the news all the time about somebody, you know, some kind of like plumbing or police officer imposter who.
You know, it's so funny. That's the stigma that these, or I guess our clients, customers have, is that how can I trust this person that's coming into my home and providing me with a service that honestly a lot of people have no knowledge base of, you know, let's just say sewer line repair or anything along the lines.
How to fix your furnace.
How to fix your
what to do with
furnace
it.
or troubleshooting your AC. I mean, in reality, there's a lot of companies out there that are going in the houses and they're literally ripping these people off.
I mean, it's about building a real community, and I was just one of the seminars I attended was really, really interesting. It was actually about humility and this idea of serving your audience and not your own brand necessarily. And social media is huge for this because it's about community building. When somebody wants to trust you, they're not going to look at your promotional content saying, oh, hey, look at me, I'm a plumber and I do all of this cool plumbing stuff and it's a low price and blah, 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 and I'll beat the competition, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think that to an extent, those things definitely matter and you want to promote your business, but I think it's a lot bigger when you're actually talking to somebody, when you're actually trying to hit their heartstrings and their problems and say, hey, we can really help you. And you don't even necessarily need to pay us because we can give you tips on our Facebook page and we're giving it out for free because we care, because we're part of the community. And I think that just has a tremendous impact that people don't really get when they're just in the day-to-day flow of plumbing and not thinking about their marketing.
Yep. Well, sometimes they get lost on the actual identity, you know, of who they are.
And then it's just like, I want to be searchable. I want to, I want people to see me. I want to come up. I want to be number one in Google.
Right.
I want to be number one in Facebook. I want to have a ton of likes. But
it's sometimes not all about that.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you have 2 or 3 people that really believe in you, then you have their people.
Yeah.
And when you have their people and their people start to believe in you, then you have those people's people. And I feel like that's what's so great about social and what's so different about it. It's hard to measure, and like that came up a lot. But there are ways of doing that. There are ways of seeing legitimate returns on this kind of stuff. It's not, it's not BS. I think like a lot of our clients tend to
think that it is, and that's the thing. And sorry to completely sway away from this awesome topic that we're talking about, but these mics, this setup in here in BuzzSprout, the BuzzSprout studio at the TNC Summit and Conversion, Traffic and Conversion Summit is unbelievable. They have a really sick setup.
We sound so good right now.
We
it makes me want to like
sound amazing.
Take my voice a few notches down and start talking like this. Hello, everyone.
And I think, see, the thing is, okay, so we have our own podcast studio at Plumber SEO, and me and you have been rolling out these episodes, and we've been sharing actually a USB blue mic, and it's serving the purpose for what we're pushing out. We want our clients to know about all this great information about social media. I'm trying to be optimistic here, Michelle. I'm trying to be optimistic.
We can do better, and we will.
We will.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned. And
I want to get this sick set
big
up.
Thanks to BuzzSprout for actually having us able to get this time in here. We actually signed up for a 6:30 spot. But we're from the East Coast.
Yeah, it was
so
6:30 our time.
6:30 our time.
San Diego time.
So we went up to one of the reps at BuzzSprout at the booth, and we said, "Hey, we're scheduled for 6:30," and he's like, "Well, we're not going to be here, So I'm actually glad we actually were. I'm glad we actually were able to get in here. We actually got a little crowd looking at us over here, so it's kind of cool, but. Soaking in all this great stuff. Friday, we saw Gary V. Yesterday,
Gary Vaynerchuk, for those of you that don't know.
Yes.
Is this going out to our listeners right now?
This is going to go out to our listeners.
We're going to get the audio file. Is it going out somewhere else?
We're gonna get this to our followers.
Is this live streaming somewhere?
I'm not sure if this is live streaming. I think that BuzzSprout is actually going to give us the file to
so we
share
can edit
on
this
our
out
platform.
Where I'm asking these dumb questions.
No, we can honestly. We're going to let this roll. We're going to let this ride. But it's
All
great
right.
because
I was just trying to find the gimmick, Like
Yeah.
what
there's always the
There's a
gimmick.
catch.
Yes.
What's the catch
But we
here?
will be tagging BuzzSprout in this specific episode
No doubt.
when we share it all over our social media platforms. Yeah, like I was saying, this has been a great experience. We've learned so much. We saw Gary Vee on Friday. We've learned a lot about newsletter optimization.
Oh yeah.
Lots.
Stay tuned for stuff about that. 'Cause
Yes.
we briefly covered newsletters, and we
have.
just barely glazed over it, just like the very tip of the iceberg.
Very
But
tip.
now the iceberg, needless to say, is very, very deep and enormous.
Oh, it's huge.
So
it is
we-
giant.
So we will get that to you.
Yes, and
Soon.
who did we see yesterday?
Incoming
What was the
episodes.
Vern
Vern Harnish.
Amazing
guy is
entrepreneur.
bad.
Yeah,
the
he
good
was.
way.
Oh,
Like the kind of bad that you like.
yeah, the bad that. So true. This guy, great speech. Kind of lays it out on how to grow your business from if you're a $2 million revenue company to that next level. And today, I'm not sure exactly what. Oh, actually, we saw Pat Flynn, famous podcaster, man.
Oh yeah.
This guy was awesome. I mean, he to me is an inspiration because a lot of us talk about radio and how radio is dying, but let's be honest, podcast is the new media, and it's not all about numbers and how I'm making this return on investment because I pushed out this specific episode of information. It's not about it. It's gaining value. And he even said it, and Molly Pittman also said it, that you're a voice in that person's ear.
Yeah.
You're consistent, whether they're going on a walk, they're working out, they're doing their day-to-day thing.
And that's really a theme of this entire conference, too. I
So
mean,
true.
Even just on a greater scale than podcasting alone and social media alone. It's this whole idea of really taking care of your audience and giving them free stuff just for the sake of wanting to nurture them and really create an environment where they can feel like they're getting something and that you're
Yep.
the expert and they can do it on their own, or they can hire your services and
Exactly.
do it. Maybe for our industry, you don't want to promote DIY too much or anything like that per se.
Yeah.
But just this whole idea of really wanting to get behind the people and not get behind your own brand. Because say I had, Michelle's Plumbing and Michelle and Sisters Plumbing Company.
Michelle and Sisters, I like the
an
ring of that.
all-female plumbing company.
All-female, woman-owned and operated company.
And as great of a,
Yeah.
scheme as that is, and as different as that is, who's going to care if all I'm saying on social is that Michelle and Sisters Plumbing Company
Right, exactly.
is all women,
Yeah.
and our prices are great. I feel like
yeah. It's not all about that.
That kind of messaging gets really, really lame really fast. It's boring. They don't want to know about what you can do, because every plumber can do plumbing. In people's minds, they want to know, how are you going that extra mile for me, and what are you really doing for me?
It's so true.
Not how cool of a plumber you are.
Yep.
So,
or how? Yeah.
You can sell yourself all day and say, hey, look at our blog. Hey, look at this. Hey, but at the end of the day, that's useless. You're not going to build a real fan.
Yeah,
from
you're not building that
you're
relationship.
You're just going to be that person that gets this certain need filled, and
Yep.
you're not going to be the go-to person necessarily. You want to get people behind you so that they actually give a crap about your brand, and they actually call you every time they have a plumbing problem, not because they searched you in Google, you were the first thing that came up, they pressed call and they called, and that's it. They didn't save your number, they didn't nobody, why would they if they can just Google it again in 5 years when some other thing happens
company
in their house.
Exactly.
You don't want to just be number one on Google, you want to be number one in people's hearts. And that's the message that we want to relay to you.
We're
as
going
goofy as it sounds.
No,
but it's true.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, when you really think about it, relationships, that is what grows businesses. These local businesses is having that relationship with your, it's not being so markety and salesy and, promote, and saying, hey, this is, like you were saying, this is me and this is what I'm offering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think like you need to stand for something.
You do.
You can't just be like, Starbucks isn't just like, oh, we have a great cup of coffee. Shell is not like, oh, get gas here. That's what we have. You can have gas here. Like, I think it's about something bigger than that every time anyone else markets their brand. Like all of these successful brands out there are talking about more than just, oh, look at me. Look at this service that I offer that everybody else offers. They're working on setting themselves apart by making an environment for their customers.
So true. A realm, as you would say, right? I mean, kind of like an area where you all hone in. I love that word, hone.
Yeah, I forget who was talking about it in this way, but somebody was talking about it that we heard in terms of tending to your garden, or like tending to the soil that is your community, so that you can actually. Ryan Dice,
I think so. I think it was Ryan Dice.
And I love that idea because really, I mean, at the end of the day, you can try to suck your customers dry and suck your community dry and get everybody to call you once or twice,
and I feel that's the thing, and that's the most important thing to our clients is how many calls did I get this month, how many what was the biggest service revenue or whatever the case is during that month, how many services did we sell because of the our marketers are doing the job, and then that's the thing, that's the one thing that they're focused on.
Yeah, and when you do a PPC campaign, you're paying a ton of money just to have more people click to your website. But at the end of the day, if you can invest that money into Facebook ads, as we've talked about over and over and over again, and really get strategic. And this is the thing about Facebook ads. You can get more strategic than you can with any other advertising platform. You can actually target the exact person that you served yesterday. So for Michelle and Sisters Plumbing Company,
let's go back
say
to
that yesterday I went to a little old lady at Little Ethel's house and I fixed her toilet.
Right.
And I went in my little pink jumpsuit, like,
okay, so Michelle and Sisters Plumbing
Company. Here we are with our little, the little booties.
Of course. The booties.
You
have to wear those. If
you're a plumbing company, you need to have booties, and you need to market that because, we keep your house clean. We care. We know what it's like to have to clean the house. All right, so a little Ethel.
So true.
And like we can target exactly Ethel. If Ethel likes
we can target Ethel's friends that are probably have the same interests and same similarities and same problems.
They all love bingo. And they go to the local bingo hall.
Yep, and they
we
probably
can
talk.
Target people that are interested in the local bingo hall.
Yep.
Chances are they're not going to know how to do their own plumbing to do that or to care. So and they all need help, and chances are they're like listening in, like oh my God, my AC's been acting up. And it's so hot lately.
And then,
they're like
they'll
having
tell
hot
their friends.
flashes, and they their friends are like, oh my God, like it's summer, it's so hot. We're in Florida, and like it gives you that opportunity to say, hey, we're really good at Ethel. Ethel really likes us.
Yes.
She thinks we're awesome because we're nice to her.
Yep.
And she can get behind this, Michelle and Sisters Plumbing kind of thing that we do.
You should probably start. That's a great idea. Michelle and Sisters Plumbing. I love that.
I've been thinking about it for a very long time. I don't know
because we've been working with plumbers for over a year now. Just to reiterate, this is the Social Plunge coming to you live from the BuzzSprout studio at the Digital Marketers TNC Traffic and Conversion Summit Conference. The studio is great. Like I said, is there any recap? This is the last day. Is there anything you want to say to our listeners as far as what we're going to bring to the table when we get back to the other side of the country?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just so much, but it's So I was talking a lot before about this whole idea of catering to your customer.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that this stuff is full of fluffy, mysterious, like woo-woo, like let's, take care of our people and be really nice on social media and give away information for free. I think like a big takeaway from this conference was, do that. But there's a technical thing going on too. And there are numbers to back up this technical thing that we're talking about. We can get so specific on social media, and there's so much that can be done that you can't even imagine, that we can't even unpack right now as far as targeting goes.
It's unbelievable.
As far as email marketing and like taking care of your entire marketing funnel.
Yep. I'm taking a Snapchat of you as you say this.
And social media is only the very beginning. It's just one small piece of the funnel. Your daily updates are
I'm sorry, I'm making funny faces in front of Michelle.
We need to make a social Plunge Snapchat account. That needs to happen ASAP.
Yes.
So that you guys can keep up with us on Snapchat.
Gary Vee was a huge...
apparently Snapchat's only for 14-year-old girls. I did not realize that. I thought it...
Well, not necessarily. Our boss, Dean Adisi, is,
only because Gary Vee
he signed up for Snapchat. So he's on Snapchat, and let me tell you... It is coming. And let me tell you once again that there is probably going to be another emerging platform after Snapchat.
Oh, of course.
That's how social media works. That's how it works. There's always, like he was saying, Gary Vee, it's unfortunate that Twitter is on the decline, but there's always going to be that next emerging platform.
Yeah.
Think about it. When Snapchat first came out, you had, I don't know, maybe it was like a year and a half later, you had Periscope, which is very similar to Snapchat, but it's literally live. It's live feeds, or it's right then and there. Rather, Snapchat is kind of like, oh, I'll send this pic, and I don't want anybody else to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like they all kind of do different things.
They all coincide,
the cool thing to keep in mind is that Facebook is on top of this. Facebook, it has already bought out Instagram, as we've talked about.
And the Oculus Rift, which is completely subject that we can get into.
Virtual reality is something that we've been secretly wanting to talk about for so long.
Yeah.
Just like thinking about the possibilities for a plumbing company and virtual reality.
Yeah. It's literally one of those subjects where it could be an entire episode that's like 25, 30 minutes.
A DIY tutorial for unclogging your drain.
Right.
Where you can like be in a virtual...
You could be in a virtual world. And literally, while you're in the virtual world, it's telling you,
virtual world with really messed up plumbing.
This is what is going on with your plumbing situation.
You can walk to all the different messed up things.
And fix them.
Hear the little noises.
It's
like,
true.
Oh, this
it's
pipe
so true.
Here. But
it's
anyway,
so true. We actually are getting under our time. we really appreciate BuzzSprout for letting us get this time in the studio. Michelle, I think you should do our closing CTA. What do you think?
Sure. So, as you guys know, first and foremost, you should totally subscribe because we have a lot of cool information coming at you very, very soon. We've learned a lot, and we're definitely withholding a lot just so that we can make sure that you guys keep listening. So with that, Snapchat, I would just say subscribe to us, like us on Facebook.
Definitely.
Follow our blog. Our blog's pretty cool. It's new.
You have to. Socialplunge.com. Check us out. Or actually, no, it's thesocialplunge.com.
Yeah,
we always are trying to update content. Like I said, we want you guys to know, we want our plumbing and HVAC clients to know the importance of social media marketing.
Oh, yeah. And hit us up. Don't be afraid to share something.
Q&As, that's what we're all about.
We love it when people say, yo, I like your podcast. So if you have anything that you want to share with us, any advice that you need, because we are doing an advice episode soon. We have a couple people with some marketing issues that we need to unpack. Concerns. So we're going to help you guys out with that. Send us more. And with that, we are signing off.
Later. Wow, that was a lot of enticing information from the TNC Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego. Michelle, we would give them a lowdown on what we're going to be talking about on the next episode.
All right, guys, we haven't forgotten about you. We have a lot of questions to answer. And in addition to that, we want to give you some really exciting blog information. Definitely going to cover some enticing blog titles that you can use to optimize your website traffic and how you can use that on social media and leverage your fans all across the web. So get excited for that and join us for the next episode. Remember to subscribe and like us on Facebook. Thank you.
We'll see you guys.